If you rockin' with it, put your hands up.
Okay, so welcome back to another video. I thought for today I would do something a little bit different. So for this video, I'm going to do what I eat in a day. Obviously what I eat is completely different to what everyone else should be eating. Like, everyone has different dietary needs. Today is Friday, so it is a complete rest day for me. So I'm not too worried about like nutrient timing and planning things around my workout. I'm just hitting my normal macros, and on a rest day I typically eat foods I enjoy a little bit more rather than purely eating for performance. So I thought I would show what I'm having. So breakfast is a bacon and egg roll with an apple on the side. So really nothing exciting. Also just a disclaimer, my food is not going to look aesthetic at all. I am not that sort of person. But I just want to give a bit of an idea of what I have, and then every meal I show you, I will put a breakdown of my macros on the screen. I won't talk through the food too much in this video, purely because I'm going to have my training in this video as well, and it would be way too long if I did that. But yeah, so I'll just give you an idea of what I'm having, and I'll tally up my macros at the end of the day and show you what my food looks like. So now about to have meal number 2 of the day. It is just going to be some homemade salt and pepper chicken noodles. Again, I'll put the macros up on the screen so you can see what the macros for that specific meal are. And yeah, this is now 11:30, so I had my breakfast at 8, it's now 11:30, so I'm gonna have like an early lunch. Then I'll go for a little bit of a walk during my blocked out lunch break, and then I'll have another snack when I get home. So just been for a walk. It is now 2 p.m. and I'm now about to have my afternoon snack, which is literally just going to be 100 grams of grapes, a kiwi, and a 1.5 scoop protein shake. So just like boring, simple snack. I try not to protein shakes too often, but some days it's just easier for me. And I'm not overly hungry today, to be honest, so I'm quite happy to drink some more of my calories. So yeah, now I'm gonna have that. My next meal will probably be about 4ish. Okay, so next meal is just going to be a tortilla with some mince, 25 grams of cheese, some peppers, and 20 grams of mayo as well. It is low-fat cheese that I use in these, and I wouldn't normally put mayo in there, but I didn't season the meat enough, so it needed something for extra flavour, and I have not got any salsa left. So yeah, I'll just show you, and I'll put the macros up on the screen again as well. Okay, so I didn't obviously wrap up my full day of eating, but my dinner last night was just meatballs with some pasta and some homemade sauce on top. Yeah, nothing too exciting, but that is what a full day of eating looks like for me. 2,300 roughly calories. It's still quite a lot of food, and as I've said before, my calories are still relatively high for me because I don't need to lose too much weight, and I've got so much time to lose the weight that I need to. So my goal is really to lose like half a kilo every couple of weeks. So I don't need to be in much of a deficit at all. So yeah, but it is Saturday, it is 4 p.m. and I'm now about to go and do week 5 SBD. Not gonna lie, I am very tired today, not sure why, I think I've overslept possibly. But yeah, now gonna go and start warming up and see how that goes, but I'm feeling good. Yeah, nothing else to really say, just need to go in and commit and get it done.
Okay. I see across the room, X marked on the spot, everybody tryna zoom. But this is casual, another night with the wolves, but how she be dealing with them, she's a damn professional. Making plays for, don't need to be told, yeah she knows. Got these fellas down bad and everybody else mad. Adrenaline rush, leaving them in the dust, now they converting the stands. The world is in her hands now, she's living in my head rent free. Burning through my long-term memory, everybody racing in a Grand Prix. They know if they don't take a chance now, finna stay woke, no sleep, running back real slow, was that a wink? She's cold as ice, sugar-coated lies with the honey trap eyes. She's dangerous, she's dancing with intention, she's got everyone's attention. She's dangerous, they wanna get a number on a roulette. Tryna find an opening, roll the dice, cold sweat running down my neck. She be on the next victim, get caught in a web. Got these fellas spending all they got left. She be keeping the score like a follow ratio. Got these fellas praying to the Lord for a glimpse of any hope. She bad, she broke, straight unpredictable, straight irresistible. She got me in a slow. She's living in my head rent free, burning through my long-term memory. Everybody racing in a Grand Prix. They know if they don't take a chance now, finna stay woke, no sleep, run it back real slow. Was that a win? She's cold as ice, sugar-coated lies with the honey trap eyes. She's dangerous. She's dancing with intention. She's got everyone's attention. She's dangerous. They wanna get a number on a Rolex. And they trying their luck, trying luck. They really wanna be the one she loves, but there she goes breaking all of these hearts. Can't seem to stay away from her. She's dangerous. She's dancing with intention. She's got everyone's attention. She knows she's dangerous. They wanna get along.
Okay, so just finished squatting. My God, I haven't grinded a squat out in so long. 165 for 4. I'm really happy with it, to be honest. I'm not happy that it was as hard as it was, but also that's just me being stupid. Like it was always going to be difficult. I did it for a triple 2 blocks ago for the first time ever, and that was like an RP 9. So doing it for 4 reps today is huge progress at an RP 9, 9.5. Like I can't be mad at that. And then 180 was definitely high. I think this angle from this camera, I haven't watched it from this camera yet, I think that will show how high the 180 was. But I definitely cut it high. But to be honest, that is the most nervous I have felt for a squat in such a long time. I've only squatted 180 once before. It is my 1 rep max. I hit it 2 blocks ago. After I did 165 for a triple 2 blocks ago, I had 180 as a single for the first time. And I felt a lot stronger on that squat day as well. So going into 180 today, second time I've ever hit it. I had no spotters here today because last time I hit it, it was in a gym with spotters that I trusted. Yeah, to do that at home today with no spotters. Obviously I have the safeties up, like I know I can fail safely, but I haven't had to fail a rep on squats at home, or even in a gym, to be fair, but at home. I don't think I've failed a squat in here for like well over a year now, which I've started to get that nervous thing of what happens when I do fail again, because it's inevitable, it's going to happen at some point. So I had that in the back of my head a little bit of, you know, will I be able to fail this safely if I do fail? But I knew I would, so I went for it anyway. The unrack, it felt so heavy. It just felt so heavy. I felt really shaky. My feet weren't quite in the right place. So I had to adjust those when I was setting up before I started the descent and took my brace and stuff. Like, it was scary. But I did it. I cut depth. I'm 100% sure I cut depth. Again, this angle will show me better because for my phone, I just filmed it literally from front on. And on my phone, it looks like borderline, like pretty much in. But obviously I want everything to be undeniable. And that is one thing I'm still working on with flats, to be fair, is getting my depth a bit better. But it's fine. I've still got 4 blocks after this one to work on that until comp. So yeah, the 180 was slow. I don't make noises when I squat, apart from occasionally like laughing at the top if it goes well. At the top of my 164, I giggled as I went to re-rack it, like, which is embarrassing enough as it's in itself. But with the 180, I actually grunted at the top, which I don't think I've ever done before. But yeah, I actually said to myself, I think I've mentioned this in a previous video, I kind of have to trick myself into doing all of the work. Like, I never skip sets without a very valid reason to. But going into squats, so I did the 165 for 4, and I was like, right, if you squat 180, if you load 180 and you squat 180 and you get it, you don't have to do your back off 5s at 150, because back off like 5s at 150 for me is heavy. But I was like, you don't have to do your back offs if you get this 180. You can call it there and move on for the rest of the session to preserve some energy. It's the end of the block. It's not going to cause any issues. It's fine. So I did the 180, and then obviously I loaded the 150. I wasn't actually going to skip anything. So yeah, I did 150 for the first set of 5. And again, I told myself going into that set, I was like, right, if you just do 1 set of 5 at 150, you can leave it there. I knew I wasn't going to leave it there if I got it, and I got it, and it was fine. Actually, I did 2 sets at 150, so both sessions this week I've only done 2 sets of back offs because they are that much heavier, and that's kind of the plan going forwards. But after the first set, I was like, I'm going to have to do another one. So I did my second set at 150, which I didn't actually film on this camera, I only filmed on my phone, but it was so much easier than the first set. Like, it was really comfortable. So I'm really excited by the fact that I was managed to do that with so much fatigue from the first two top sets anyway. So yeah, I mean, everything was hard, but actually back off, like 165 was hard. I can't get my words out if you haven't noticed. 165 was obviously hard, and it was harder than I wanted it to be, but also I need to be realistic. My progress isn't going to be that quick. Like, I've been in this sport for a very long time. Progress isn't always going to be super fast. I still got it, and I knew, like, I wasn't really prepared to work as hard this session. I don't really know why. I feel a bit tired today, as I mentioned before. I think I may have overslept last night, and I think that's part of the problem. But yeah, I wasn't really excited to do the work, should we say. But I know I had to. Like, I don't view what's written in the program as a choice. Like, I'm not going to load less just because I can't be bothered today. I'm always going to load what is planned on the sheet, and I did. And it was fine. It was just a case of 1 rep at a time. I was literally talking to myself. You can probably see my mouth moving in between reps. Like, I was telling myself, I've got it, I've got it. But yeah, I got it. It's 165 for 4 is a PB. It's a big PB. I need to be happy with that. 165 is my second attempt from my last 2 comps, I'm pretty sure. So to hit it for 4, I can't be mad. And then 180, even though it was high, I'm saying it was definitely high. I feel like when I watch from this angle back, it's going to be like this high, but it's fine. 180, second time I've ever loaded it, hit it again. And I know when I'm fresh, there's going to be so much more there. And then 2 by 5 at 150 is still incredibly impressive as well. Even 1 by 5 at 150 I'm impressed with. So yeah, squats went well. I am rambling a little bit because I'm kind of putting off bench because I am tired now. But yeah, I mean, the hardest part of the session's over. Not sure what's going to happen with sumo today. Today is going to be the decider of what deadlift variation I focus predominantly on. If I choose to focus on sumo, I probably will keep conventional in as an accessory for my sumo. But I think if I want to get my deadlift up to the level it needs to be at, if I am going to stick with conventional, then I have to take out sumo and focus on accessories that are really going to build my conventional. Like, have Saturday as a separate like RDL day or stiff leg day or something to just really focus on building my conventional as much as I possibly can. So that is something I'll probably talk about in the next video, to be fair, because I don't need to decide that right now while I'm in the middle of my session. Yeah, so I'm literally just talking to get out doing the work. So I'm going to go and set up for bench and we'll see how that goes. I'm just going to take what's there today. I'm not going to push. I'm not expecting to hit 120 again like I did last block, because of the fact I've been ill and I've had to skip accessory days last week and fatigue levels have been a bit all over the place. I'm literally just going to take what's there today. So I guess we'll just see how things move.
Fast lane when I pass in the street, bag of money in the passenger seat. Simcoe's been asking for me on the road from the west to the east. Way up, I might never come down, cause the coast racking up the flight miles. So high, I might never come down, so what, this is my lifestyle. Wait a minute, work hard for the car, so that's why it's all tinted. Wait a minute, had a real late night, woke up with my head spinning out in Nashville. It's been mad real, I need sunglasses, I need Advil. I like fake boobs, and my cash real. I like first place, you're in last still. Fast lane when I pass in the street, bag of money in the passenger seat. Simcoe's been asking for me on the road from the west to the east. Way up, I might never come down, cause the coast racking up the flight miles. So high, I might never come down, so what, this is my lifestyle.
Look, pocket rocket in my pocket, please don't make me pop it. All these boys just wanna copy the side, tell them niggas stop it. Whoa, whoa, this my destiny, feeling like Latoya, like it found me my Beyonce, and she shotgun in the cockpit. Grinding with the team, making C notes. In my pocket still full of green, call it CeeLo. Alligator watch on me, Tim Tebow.
So bench is done. Bench has been very difficult this block. Week 1 and 2 felt insanely good. I was so happy week 1 and 2. I was so happy with week 1 and 2 to the point where I was really expecting to hit 120 again at the end of this block. And then week 3 was the week I hosted the, or no, I think week 3 was the week before I hosted the comp when I was starting to go collect kit and getting really stressy. Week 4 was the week, oh no, week 3 was, I'm talking too much. So week 3 was the week I hosted the comp and then I got incredibly ill and run down. Week 4, I was still ill and run down. And I felt like I'd forgotten how to bench for both of those as well. And then obviously this is week 5, and the other day on Wednesday, bench felt decent, but still didn't quite feel like I was doing it right. So I went into today's session with fairly low expectations for bench and just to take what was there. I hit 115 and there was a slight pause, not really, but a little bit of one, which I was happy with. And then there was downward motion on the way up and my butt definitely came up. But it's fine. I ended the block with 115. Doesn't have to be 100% comp standard. I'm still 5.5 months out, and that's what I need to remember. That's still 7.5 more than my current comp max, which is 107.5. So it's fine. Back offs, mixed feelings. Fours, I did 2 sets at 105. The first set is the one I filmed and it moved really, really comfortably. Second set, I just kind of hit a wall and the 4th rep was very slow. Or, well, it wasn't actually that slow. It felt slower than it was. I'm really just unable to talk right now. Yeah, so I dropped 102.5 because it just wasn't worth the risk of failing, and then both sets were fine. But one thing I was really proud of myself on is the final rep of the 105 when I was doing it for 4s, so the second set. I've really forgotten how to talk. The second set at 105, before I dropped the weight, my last rep, halfway up, old Sean would have just given up and would have stopped. But I literally said to myself, I was like, you have not failed a rep on bench in months. Suck it up and keep going. And I did, and it moved fine. And actually, it really wasn't that bad at all. So, yeah, mixed feelings on bench is what it is. It's been a rough block. Like, it's been a rough 2 blocks, to be fair, because I got ill at the block that finished at the start of the year. So last block I got ill, I think it was at the same point, like on week 3 I got ill. And this block I had a lot of stress and I got really ill, again on week 3. So, I'm now going to get ready to deadlift. So I have actually got, oh my God.
Have you ever had a dream that you do?
So I have actually still got more to do, but I'm feeling good because I know that next block, everything will be better. And the thing is as well, like, you can't rely on having good externals. I've spoken about externals before. I just think they're a complete mental game. But if you focus on, if you rely on good externals to have a good end of the block, you're going to be disappointed so much more than you're going to be happy, because nothing ever lines up perfectly in life. Like, it's just not the way things work. Like, every now and then you'll obviously have like a perfect block where you eat really well the whole time, your recovery feels really good, your energy levels feel good, and yeah, you don't get ill, things go well. You have blocks like that, but not very often. Now, having said that, I am telling myself the next block, it is going to be perfect, although I am still very, very busy outside of training and coaching and like work life, so we'll see. But I'm telling myself it's going to be a good block. And even if I get ill again, which I really hope I don't, it's fine. I'm still going to just keep turning up, ticking the boxes and getting it done. Because I also know that when it comes, if you wait... If you rely on things being perfect all the time and lining up for you to have a good block, like if you're someone that gets a little bit under the weather and just keeps restarting your block, what's going to happen when you have a comp coming up? You can't change the date of the comp. Like, obviously you can withdraw from a comp, but you can't change the date of the comp. You have to just be used to training no matter what the circumstances and learn to listen to your body and take what is there, which is exactly what I did tonight with bench. I knew for a fact 110, like, I can hit 110 any day of the week now. 110 is pretty much opener territory for me now, I think, on a good day. Obviously, like today, I would have only got 1 of 3 attempts, let's be honest. But yeah, like 110 for me is like opener territory. So I knew as a minimum I'd have 110 today. But I said to myself, I was like, I'll be happy if I walk away with 110 to I'll be happy if I walk away with anywhere from 115 to 120. And I got 115. Granted, not overly happy with the execution, but it's been a really terrible block. So it is what it is. I'm really just rambling. I'm going to go now and I'm going to deadlift. This could be the last time I sumo for a long time. I guess we'll see. Okay, so you haven't seen any sumo because I've just warmed up to my top triple and it just doesn't feel good and I'm not willing to push it. So I guess that's made my decision for me. I don't like acting on emotion when it comes to lifting. The reason I can coach myself and the reason I get on so well as a self-coach lifter is because I am very good at kind of taking the emotions out of it and looking at things matter-of-factly. And you know what? Sumo's not worth it for me. If I dedicate myself to getting the strongest posterior chain possible, like my hamstrings have so much room to get stronger. My lower back is getting stronger, but again, there's so much more room to push it. And like my entire posterior chain, like there's so much room to push it. And I think from an enjoyment perspective and just from a confidence perspective, I think sumo for me is just not predictable enough. And I know it's still fairly new, but I've been doing it for like 5 months now. Like conventional is the one that I'm comfortable with. I don't have to think about too much. And as long as I have the belief that I'm healthy enough to do conventional, I'm going to do conventional. And I think this week has been a real turning point with me in conventional. Like I think last week's bad sumo session, I had such a mental block. And then I sort of just really thought about how I approach deadlifts. And then like Wednesday's deadlift session was incredible. And I think the mental block's obviously going to be there for sumo or conventional. But for me, I think dedicating my time to conventional is smarter, because also where my lower back has flared up lately, or I say lately, again, it hasn't flared up since September. When it did flare up, and when it flared up before the Manchester Open last year, I could still train. I just couldn't pull for a little while. I just had to let it rest, but I could still squat, I could still bench. Granted, when it was freshly flared up, I couldn't bench with my feet down, but whatever happens, I think as long as I'm sensible, even if my back does flare up again, I can manage it. And yeah, so, bit annoyed with myself, and I do feel like I'm quitting, but also I just know it's not sensible for me to try and push sumo right now, and I'm not going to bother doing lighter because it is the last session for me to decide which one I want to do, and I want to do conventional. So I'm going to do conventional, and I'm just going to get myself incredibly jacked, and kidding, I've been trying to do that for years. No, I'm just going to get myself healthy, and I am healthy. I really don't know how to talk today. Yeah, I'm just going to focus on conventional, and then this session, I don't know exactly how I'm going to plan things out yet, but I think this session, so my primary conventional day will still be a Wednesday, or Tuesday, depending on what day I end up competing. So my primary conventional day will still be a Wednesday, and then Saturday I can put in a really good accessory to help build and complement my conventional, rather than doing sumo, which won't help my conventional. So I think the plan is probably going to be RDLs. Eventually I'd like to try stiff leg, but for me, when I've tried stiff leg before, granted, it wasn't long after it wasn't long after my last back flare up that I tried stiff legs. That probably wasn't overly sensible, because it did then make my back feel really dodgy again. But yeah, for now I'm just going to focus on conventional. I'm going to focus on RDLs. I'm going to build the best hamstrings ever. I'm going to just build an indestructible posterior chain and be a conventional puller. And I'm going to convince myself that I can pull well over 200 in June. I hope I can. Yeah, just rambling again. I'm going to probably wrap up the video here. I hope you enjoyed, including the full day of eating. It was obviously a rest day. At some point I will film like my entire day, like a Saturday is probably the best day for me to film of what I eat on a day that I train and have one of my main sessions. But yeah, just for now, thought I'd include that. I'm not going to break it down too much because there's not really much point at this stage. Current calories, like I said, are 2,300. I am cutting, in theory. I should be in a bit of a deficit with that, but my goal is literally like lose half a kilo every couple of weeks. I've got 5.5 months to drop. Well, I'm 89. I was 89 on the dot this morning, but I think that was a little bit of a heavy day for me, to be perfectly honest. So let's say I'm 89 kilos on the dot. I've got 5.5 months to get down to 84, but realistically I'm going to do a gut cut. So I've actually got to get to like 85.5, but then also creatine makes me hold at least a kilo. So I've only got to get to like 86.5. So what, I've got to drop 2.5 kilos. I think I can do that. So yeah, gonna wrap this up here. I hope you have enjoyed. If you have, please leave a like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you on Friday for the next one.
And these haters love to watch me like Tebow. Look, I don't take L's, I just learn a lesson. Before I count the M's,